After that situation with the narcissist, have you ever felt like a shadow of your former self? Have you ever lamented the times that you did or you said something that you regretted? There was a reason that happened. Because the toxicity of that narcissist corrupted your being and is seeking to poison you from the inside out. Let's talk about it. What's going on, warriors, and welcome back to another episode from Reach on Recovery. I'm your host, Baron, and today we're going to be talking about how that narcissist attempted to corrupt the very best parts of you and why they're going to fail miserably. As always, this is our Bible-based series, so I'm going to be incorporating scripture to help us on our understanding and to spearhead our healing journey. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And first, I want to jump into it with a declaration about the power that resides in you. Before you were even born, you were given the measure of strength necessary to overcome all the obstacles you're going to face in your life, including that narcissist. And your strength will not fail you. But do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. That's not just advice from your grandparents. That's here in the good book. So we got to be careful who we connect to. We got to be careful who we allow in our inner circle. Because that narcissist has an insidious plan. They saw the goodness that resided on you. Now they seek to connect to you so they could destroy it from the inside out. And so they can have a front row seat as they watch you slowly decline. That's why these toxic folks are telling such massive lies up front. They have to. They have to do whatever's necessary in order to secure that connection. Because they know nobody's fool enough to straight up accept their abuse. Imagine if they walked up to you and they straight up told you for the next couple of days, years, decades, I'm going to straight up use and abuse you. Some of y'all laugh them out the room, and some of y'all put hands on them immediately. So they have to lie. They have to pull out all the stops. And if you're watching this video, it worked successfully. And they kept us engaged for a little while because the lie was that good. They pretended to be an ideal partner so well that we stuck with them. Or they told such a convincing sob story that our bleeding hearts thought we would be the ones to heal them. But actually, that connection was destroying us. See, the corruption is via the connection. It may be a connection built on lies, but it works. When I think of that connection, I think about this meme I saw online. It's about two pieces of fruit, one good and one rotten, that are placed next to each other. I'll try to find the video, but essentially what happens is when you put that rotted fruit next to that good fruit, the rot from the bad fruit starts to transfer over to that otherwise good fruit. And they both start rotting together. Now, if I was successful in getting that visual, you saw it, and you'll think to yourself, that is disgusting. Good. That's the same energy I want you to keep when you got one of those narcissists connected to you. Because that rot on the inside of them is getting to you, and it's affecting you the longer and longer that you stay with them. Now, I feel you out there. It's starting to make sense, but you want me to back it up with scripture. So turn to Proverbs chapter 25, verse 26. It says, like a muddied spring or a polluted well are the righteous that give way to the wicked. Give way to the wicked. When you give way, you give access. If you give access, you're creating a connection. And that connection pollutes or muddies you. It's corrupting you. Think about that polluted well or that polluted stream. That body of water provides substance, a life-giving element to whatever ecosystem is providing. If you start throwing trash, toxic waste, dumping feces and all types of sewage, then that previously life-giving force has been corrupted and no longer serves the same purpose that it did before. Instead of bringing life, it brings death and decay. Now think of you as that body of water. Initially, your thoughts and your actions were all guided towards things that provided life. But as you started to get corrupted, polluted by that narcissist and their toxic thoughts, you started to act and think out of character. Do things that weren't in your best interest. Think things that weren't in your best interest. The anger and resentment from that abuse, that maltreatment, will have you wanting to retaliate. It'll have you wanting to lash out at people that have nothing to do with your situation. Your frustration is built up so high, you've been on fight and flight for so long, that it won't take much to set you off. Let somebody cut you off in traffic. Let somebody say something wrong to you, let alone look at you sideways. And you ready to snap. You ready to whop pop. It's time to duel. And it shouldn't be like that. It's outside of your character, but it's a byproduct of the narc pollution. Let's give another example. That narcissist is cheating left and right. They can't keep their legs closed or they can't keep it in their pants. And you, out of frustration, think to yourself, well, I'm going to step out. I'm going to make you feel how I feel. So you go out and do the deed, but you feel like crap afterwards. Because it's not like you. Your integrity and your loyalty was up here compared to where it is non-existent. So now you have to live with that stain on your soul. That guilt and that shame, even after the narcissist is gone. Now the corruption from this connection gets dark as well. And there's an outward and an inward expression of it. I'll talk about the outward first. Because some victims are going through years of chronic physical and verbal abuse. I mean, to the point where the victim goes from feeling scared to angry, that anger turning to wrath, that wrath turning to pure hatred. And then that whole time, the heart is getting callous. And then one day, they reach a breaking point. And they think to themselves, that abuser has one more time. They got one more time to put their hands on me. One more time to do or say something to the kids. One more time to do something to my mom and my dad. And it's curtains for them. But in a very toxic way. Curtains in terms of they're prepared to take a life. The weapon of choice is already picked out. And when the event happens, they just black out and let the anger take over. Now, it's so detrimental and it's not the right way to go because you take two lives at that point. You take the life of the abuser and the life of the victim. There are too many stories of people that are in jail right now for going to the way extreme in terms of defending themselves. Now, I got nothing against defending yourself. I got nothing against putting yourself in a position of safety. But don't let it get to the point where you're blacking out in anger and you're doing something that's detrimental to your life and the lives of the kids if you have any. The Bible warns you against this very thing. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24. It reads, "Do not associate with somebody that's easily angered, lest you learn their ways and you become ensnared." The association is the connection you have with that toxic narcissist. You learning their ways as you picking up on their toxic traits through the trauma. Becoming ensnared comes in a variety of ways. Like we talked about before, ending up in prison. It could be a failure to break free from toxic cycles. Or it could be a diminished quality of life where you never reached the true purpose that was intended for you. Either way, that continued connection is dragging you deeper and deeper into darkness. Now let's talk about the inward expression of that toxic connection with that narcissist. Because with all that mind trickery, with the betrayal, with them denying your basic human rights, and there's somebody that was supposed to love you, it has an effect on the mind. They're telling you that you're not good enough and nothing you ever do will be good enough, which is nothing but a straight up lie. But they want it buried in your mind. They want you repeating it. Essentially what they want you to do is they want you to be a warden in your own mental prison, where you repeat the toxic thoughts that they gave you over and over, day in and day out. That happening continually over a long span of time, that's what leads to the depression, anxiety, hypervigilance, the post-traumatic stress. These are side effects of the corruption of the mind. And if it goes on long enough, people start to lose hope up here. And when that happens, some people resort to thoughts of suicide, which is never the right answer. But it's seen as some as an escape from the continual torment up here. And that's not like them. Nah, there's nobody in the world that's going to convince me that somebody's purpose was to take their own life. There's no youngster that you've ever talked to that says when they grow up, they want to kill themselves. That's the result of a polluted mind. They weren't seeing clearly. Because if they were, they would have saw their true worth. And if you ever thought you were a shadow of your former self, you were starting to lose vision as well. Because when you understand your true value, it's not affected by time or an abuser. But I'm here today to restore your vision, reset your focus, and drive out that pollution from the narcissist. And you know how we gonna do it. And at first when I was thinking, I was like, man, it's gonna be easy. Psalm 139. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But then I got to thinking, that's what we were starting to lose sight on. So that's not the best way to describe it, because we were starting to forget. But our Creator doesn't forget who He made, who He created uniquely, who He knew before His mother's womb. So the best place to look at is Isaiah 49:15, and it reads, "Can a woman forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Surely they may forget, yet I will not forget you. See, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hands." Did y'all catch that? We got to go ahead and break this thing down, because you get two viewpoints. You get the human viewpoint, and it's of the most extreme case of a mother forgetting her child. Now, surely if a mother can forget her child, we can start to forget our true value. We can start to feel like shadows of our former selves, even though our value doesn't diminish over time and is definitely not defined by that abuser. Then he goes on to blow our mind by telling us what he thinks. And he says he will not forget you. You are inscribed on the palm of his hand. So that means you have permanent residency in God's mind and his body. And the you that he remembers is the perfect form of you. The you that he created, uniquely, wonderfully made, in his own image. Created so that you can achieve victory under any circumstance. That's the you that he remembers. So we need to reconnect with the Creator so we can get a little refresher. Now, some of y'all already starting to feel it. I feel y'all sitting up straight, head held high. You starting to understand your true value again. Keep pressing forward. Lean into it. That's how you assure your victory, by knowing who you really are. But y'all still got to be careful out there, because these narcs out here narking. So until the next video, I thank y'all for this time, and peace.